What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to take a look at all of the black Digimon which are coming in Booster 1.0. We're getting near the end of this series now. I've had a whole bunch of people asking me, well, hang on a second, Wossy, what should we do in terms of the new sets coming out? Booster 1.0 is coming out, well, what can we play? Talk about the set, Wossy. Oh, fair dues, let's do it. Now, one thing we need to bear in mind about black cards, and this counts for purple as well, they didn't have a starter deck when the first starter decks came out in Japan in April. And there were none of them in New Evolution that came out in Japan in May. We had to wait till Ultimate Power, the second set, for black to make their debut. So, to put it bluntly, there are fewer black cards and fewer black options. Sorry. So, what have we got? Well, we got Hergurumon here. It is a 2-cost to play normally level 3. You can only hatch one Digi-Egg and evolve it every turn. You're going to be playing a bunch of level 3s from your hand. This is a 2-cost, this is good. Keramon here is a level 3 with an inheritable skill. When you play another Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, you draw 1. Which is nice. Remember, inheritable skills work on the Digimon you have evolved into, so it wouldn't be when you play a Keramon, it would be when you play a Digimon that evolved from Keramon, i.e. if you evolved up into a War Greymon, it would be when you played a War Greymon. Gotsumon is a blocker here. Now, it's like the ones we saw in all the starter decks, but it's a level 3. It's got blocker, and when you attack, you lose 2 memory, which is to say, you can direct an attack towards you to save one of your other Digimon or yourself, yay! But you lose 2 memory when you attack, so it's very much a blocker. But the fact that it's a level 3 is good. For what it's worth, one of the things that black does best is block. They have more blockers than other colours. Toyagamon has got an inheritable skill Reboot, and that is one of the other things that black decks do better than other colours. Reboot. Reboot means you unsuspend this Digimon during your opponent's unsuspend phase. Now, generally speaking, you attack on your turn, you're resting or suspended. Because you're suspended, your opponent can attack you on their turn. But if you've got Reboot, you unsuspend, and you're good to go. Great skill. Numemon, well look, it's a level 4 that's a 3-cost to play normally, which is cheap. And it's a 1-cost to evolve, and you'll notice that your other level 4s, all the ones you've got, not many, they cost 2 to evolve, so yeah, Numemon is cheap. That's what it does. Greymon's got a lovely inheritable skill. On your turn, if this Digimon has Reboot, it gains jamming, which is to say it will not be destroyed by a security Digimon, no matter how powerful that security Digimon is. And remember, you can use Toyagamon to give you Reboot. So if you take something and evolve it into Toyagamon, or just take Toyagamon, and you evolve into Greymon, and then you evolve from there, all of your Digimon, as in whatever you've evolved into, will have Reboot, and it will therefore have jamming, and that's a very nice thing indeed. Now, Guardramon here, it's just a blocker. It's a level 4 pretty powerful blocker with 7,000 power, but it can't attack. But it's a really powerful blocker, and we said that black decks like blocking, so yeah, that'll do. Kurisarimon? It's got an inheritable skill. On your turn, when you play another Digimon with the same name as this Digimon, you gain a memory. Clearly works nicely with Keramon here that lets you draw 1, so that's another evolution line you would build up, play a bunch of Digimon with the same name, and off you go, you're rolling. Megadramon is a vanilla card, but it's got 9,000 power. 6 cost to play normally is quite cheap, to be fair. 3 cost to evolve isn't, but it's got 9,000 power, that's why you play it. Andramon here is a level 5. It's got blocker. And you'll notice most types have like 1 or 2 blockers. Here, Gotsumon is your level 3 blocker. Guardramon is your level 4 blocker. Andramon is your level 5 blocker. You've got so many more options to block. This is good. Infirmon, on your turn, when this Digimon evolves into a Diaboromon in your hand, reduce the memory cost of the Digivolution by 1. Yeah, build up into a Diaboromon, and you'll be good to go. We'll get to Diaboromon in a moment. Metal Greymon has just got Reboot naturally, which is good, unsuspends on your opponent's turn. But on your turn, while the Digimon that has evolved from it has Reboot, bearing in mind you can use Toy Agumon to make sure it has Reboot, which is cool, you gain security attack +1. So instead of taking out one security card, you take two. And we got another really obvious evolution line going here. Toy Agumon gives you Reboot, Greymon then gives you Jamming, and War Greymon gives you security attack +1. It writes itself. Now, Hyandramon is your generic vanilla level 6. It's got a nice cheap play cost at 10, a nice cheap evolution cost at 2, and it's got 12,000 power. That's what it does. It's big, it's beefy, it's powerful. Nice. Go team. All the colours have this. This is the black one. It's cheap and it's powerful, and that's why you play it. Now, War Greymon is my personal favourite of the black cards, and this is a black deck that I'm going to be making. It has got that phenomenal combo of both Blocker and Reboot. Blocker, you can suspend it on your opponent's turn to redirect an attack towards it, and Reboot unsuspends it on your opponent's turn. So on your turn you attack, unsuspend on your opponent's turn, and then block, and unsuspend on your turn, and attack, and unsuspend on your opponent's turn. It is one of the very few Digimon that is going to be really good on yours and your opponent's turn. I love it. I am definitely going to be making a deck with it. And there's a lovely alternate art as well. Now, Machine Dramon is another level 6 option we've got here. It again has Blocker, which is good. Black decks love blocking. But on play, you get to trigger the skill D-Digivolve 2. That is to say, trash up to 2 cards from the top of one of your opponent's Digimon. So if you've got a level 6, you would trash a level 6, then trash a level 5, leave them as a level 4. This will not delete a Digimon, however. So if they've got no Digivolution sources, it stops. And similarly, it will not leave a level 2 on the field, because level 2s only exist in the breeding area. They don't exist on the field. You cannot use it. And it's got a lovely alternate art as well. Yay! Now, we are going to need a few more options here, and we do have a few more options. We've got Tumon. Now, there are very few Digimon that actually came through from set 3, and we only got 2 black Digimon, but we do have 2 black Digimon. We've got Tumon here. On your turn, your opponent cannot gain memory except using Tamer effects, i.e. Tamers can gain the memory, nothing else can. Really powerful skill. And Metaletamon is another level 6. On your turn, this Digimon cannot be blocked by your opponent's Digimon. So after all of this blocking we've been doing, we've got a Digimon that cannot be blocked. And on your opponent's turn, you get an extra 2,000 power, which means when you're resting and your opponent wants to take you out, it is more difficult to do, and that's kinda lovely. Now, there are a couple of other options here. One of them is not actually a black Digimon, it is a white Digimon. In fact, they both are. Diaboromon. Now, Diaboromon might be a white Digimon, but it evolves from a black Digimon, so it very much is a black deck staple. Or if you're going to play it, you're going to play it in a black deck. And when you attack, you may play a Diaboromon token without paying the memory cost. Diaboromon tokens are level 6 white Digimon with a cost of 14, 3,000 power. It's basically just a 3,000 power vanilla Diaboromon. But also, if Diaboromon would be deleted, you can sacrifice one of your tokens to keep Diaboromon alive. So every time you attack, you summon a new Diaboromon, which is ridiculous. And then you can sacrifice them to keep you alive, which is redonkulous. Although this only works if it would be deleted in battle. If you would be deleted using an option card, for instance, or by having your power lowered by a skill, this wouldn't work. And then we go back to some of the other Digimon here, and they start to make a bit more sense. Kurosariamon. When you play another Digimon with the same name, you gain a memory. But when you attack with Diaboromon, you summon a Digimon with the same name. So now, not only do you get a new Digimon when you attack with Diaboromon, you gain a memory. And then you've probably evolved from Infirmon, Remember that this will actually reduce the cost of evolving Diaboromon, which is cool. But maybe we have evolved from Keramon here that lets you draw a card. So Keramon draws a card when you attack with Diaboromon. Kurasiramon lets you get a memory when you attack with Diaboromon. And Infermon gets Diaboromon more easily. Black really does have obvious evolution lines, more so than the other colours. And then we've got a level 7. Now, Millenniummon doesn't have to be in a black deck. It also evolves from purple. But Millenniummon here, when you Digivolve, you may return one of your opponent's Digimon to the bottom of their deck, trashing all the Digivolution sources, which is kind of hilarious. Get rid of their best Digimon. And when you're deleted, if you have any Digivolution cards, you can play it without paying the memory cost. So you'd evolve into it, or Digivolve into it, and you get to trash one of your opponent's Digimon, near as darn it, and then you get to essentially revive yourself when deleted. That's pretty gosh darned cool. Now, in terms of option cards here, we do have a few options. Literally and figuratively. Actually, we should look at Tamers first, shouldn't we? We've got Tai Kamiya. If you've got 2 memory or less at the start of your turn, it goes to free. All the colours have a 4-cost tamer that does this. It's cool. And it gives all of your black Digimon an extra 1,000 power. That's a pretty gosh darned good skill. And what makes me sad is that is the only black tamer in the set. Seriously, you can see me flicking around here. You can see me looking. There were no black cards, remember, in set 1. So there's no black tamers there. This is a black tamer that came around in set 2, BT2089. And then we didn't get many set 3 cards. We didn't get any tamers from set 3. So if you want to play a black tamer, it's got to be Tai Kamiya. Yeah. Black is not being looked after in Booster 1.0, unfortunately. Speaking of not being looked after, we totally forgot to mention the Digitama. Let's mention them now. The good news is we have a couple of options. Kapurimon has got an inheritable skill. While this Digimon has Reboot, you gain an extra 1,000 power. And you're going to have Reboot on a bunch of them, and the deal here is simple. If you're playing a deck with Digimon that Reboot, this is awesome. Play it. If you're not, this isn't. Don't. And if you're not playing that, you got Sumamon. While you have another Digimon in play with the same name as this Digimon, you gain 2,000 power. Blatantly, it is going to be there for Diaboromon. If you're not playing Diaboromon or Reboot, neither of these are particularly good. But then again, if you're not playing Diaboromon or Reboot, what are you playing? Black do not have a lot of options. What? You're playing I suppose you could be playing Machine Dramon. Okay. I laugh. Machine Dramon would not fit either of them. Now, in terms of option cards, we do have a few. Spiral Sword is a 1-cost option card that gives your Digimon an extra 3,000 power. We see that a lot, as in all the colours have that. As a security card, it unsuspends one of your Digimon with Blocker, which is cool because loads of them have Blocker. Atomic Ray, you unsuspend one of your Digimon with Blocker for free cost. Ha! As a security card, it unsuspends all of your Digimon with Blocker, and they get an extra 5,000 power for the turn. Now, this is only while your opponent is attacking, but it basically means you got an extra 5,000 power, so even if they can attack unsuspended Digimon, you got an extra 5,000 power, they're not going to be taking them out. But unless you're playing against like Rustaranimon that can attack unsuspended Digimon, it's just going to unsuspend them and you'll be fine. But that's still pretty cool. Spider Shooter is a free cost option card, and when you play it, you de-Digivolve 1, i.e. discard 1 card from the top of one of your opponent's Digimon, which is pretty cool. As a security card, it does the same thing. And Infinity Cannon is a 6-cost option card that de-Digivolves 4. And as a security, does the same thing. But if we think about it, level 6 goes, level 5 goes, level 4 goes, level 3 goes. We can't get rid of level 3. So let's say to the level 7, you trash the level 7, level 6, level 5, level 4. This will take any Digimon seen so far down to the lowest Digivolution stage they've got, which is great. We like this. And then there was one that came around from set 3, the absolutely adorable Looking Back on the Good Times. And it's got a Gardramon thinking about when it was a smaller Digimon. And it's such a wonderful, lovely card. It's a 4-cost card, and it triggers D-Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. And then, if the play cost of that Digimon is 4 or less, you delete it. So the theory here is you discard the top card, and then hopefully they're a 4 cost or less, and then they go away. Ha 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 ha. Fun times. And that's it. That's what we've got for Black Digimon. Essentially, if you're making a black deck, you might be playing a Diaboromon deck, or you might be playing either War Greymon or Machine Dramon. We've actually got some really nice options for level 6s. We've just got a single tamer and fewer Digimon than other colours have. Personally, I want to make War Greymon, though I am excited a little bit by Diaboromon as well. But either way, I'm not sure Black have necessarily gotten the best support in Booster 1.0, but I do think they've got some really nice options for level 6s, and they are certainly going to be fun in the long run. But I'd like to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio. No, Wossy Plays. Bye.